tried to be what someone else thought of me. So caught up, I was unable to achieve. But deep in my heart, the answer, it wasn't me.
Hey you guys. Ooh. Welcome back to another episode of Patty's Panel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you are day one, thank you guys so much for tuning back into the panel, y'all. Long time no speak. You don't gotta tell me because I already know. It has been a minute since I talked to you guys, and we're gonna do a live recap, a live check-in, where I've been, what I've learned since I've last talked to you guys. It's been a few months, and you know what? We're gonna get into it in today's video. So not only I'm gonna be talking to you guys, I'm gonna be doing my makeup. I have my makeup set up right here, so if you want to see what I've been up to, stay tuned. You guys, I'm about to do this face. You already know I started off with my Essence What the Fake Extreme Lip Plumping. If you have not heard about this yet, I love this stuff. So that's what I started off with on my lips. Yeah, so I have my makeup here. Everything that I use will be listed down below. I'm not gonna really be telling you guys what I use. I'm just gonna mention it as I go. So, what's good? I miss y'all so much. Oh my gosh. I know it's cliche to say, but like I literally missed you guys. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Wishing you all of the love, happiness, and prosperity that you guys may wish for yourself. I hope that you get all of your heart's desires. I hope you put that work in. I hope you step and stand on business. I hope you really put in, you know, the time and the effort and the determination and the discipline, while also giving yourself grace and having patience to go towards all of your dreams and your goals. We're almost done with January, so by the time you guys see this video, it'll probably be February, but you know, it's a little late start for me, but I just had to get my mind right. Like I literally had to envision, I'm looking at myself because I'm talking to myself too. I literally had to envision, like, what do you want for yourself this year, and how can you go about it without being overwhelmed and anxious and, you know, all the emotions that really took me over last year. I'm gonna do my face and I'm gonna talk to you guys while I do it, okay? I actually have some talking points that I want to talk about today, so I actually have a direction for what I'm about to do. Okay, so I have my handy dandy phone here, you know, to look at some of the notes that I wrote down for myself. But other than that, I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking my truth. You know, I'm not gonna go too crazy, but I'm gonna definitely, you know, just get into some things. So, Happy New Year. You guys, last time we talked, I believe my last video was in July. A lot has happened since July. A lot has happened. But like the last 5 months of 2023 really came in swinging. Baby, the whole year honestly was trying to square up with me. Like it literally wanted beef. But you know, all jokes aside, I feel like my mental health really went through it in 2023. Especially the last part of 2023. I was just going through a lot when it came to like personal life, when it came to like my job, when it came to what did I want to do with my life, what are next steps, you know, just weighing out my options between the things that I wanted to do. I really felt heavy. I felt heavy to the point that like it really started to stress me out and kind of make me sick. Like I couldn't really sleep good. And when I did sleep, like it felt like I didn't sleep. Like I would sleep for like hours, kind of like a depressed person would do. maybe I was depressed, but like I would literally sleep for hours and I would not feel any relief. Like if anything, I would wake up, be like, damn, I'm still tired, and go right back to bed. And you know, like I really started to see the signs and the symptoms of unhealthy mental health. Negative toll, like I could not sleep, or I would sleep too much. I was overeating, or I was not eating at all. And so that became a very unhealthy system in my body, which caused me to, you know, have a difference in my appearance. You already know what I'm putting down. Difference in my eating habits, which, you know, definitely started to mess with my mental health and my confidence. Tired all the time, I'm fatigued all the time, physically, well, really mentally, which then transferred into my physical. And you know, like all I wanted to do was sleep, and was blessed nonetheless. But it just caused a lot of insecurity within me. And then, you know, that transferred to like my dreams and my goals and my aspirations, like you guys, and the things that I genuinely enjoy. And that's when I started to really see, like, okay, something's going on here. And I started to not enjoy doing the things that I enjoy, which was making my podcast, making my YouTube videos. Yeah, it was kind of a sad time. I was a very sad girl, and so I had to figure out how to navigate that. And you know, that meant, you know, just taking some time to myself. You know, I don't want to put too much in my business. I do want to learn how to navigate boundaries, not only with you guys, but with people in my everyday life. So I'm trying to speak openly without saying too much. But I will say this. It was heavy up here. It was heavy. I just had to learn to navigate, because I don't want to get to a point where I feel like I have to run away every time I feel like my mental is heavy. But I also want to learn to take care of myself. So, you know, I go through this battle every so often when I feel like my mental is heavy. I'm just really trying to learn, and it really is a battle that I've been struggling with for a while now, where I determine, or I'm trying to navigate rather, what and what not to do. Because I don't think it's fair to like push people, especially people, but it's also not fair to me to push things that I love to the side. Like, I have to learn to find a balance, because you know, life be lifing, and you know, I can't just drop everything and be like as much as I want to. I just can't. It's not realistic, and it's not fair to the people I love. Me, I just want to isolate sometimes when I go through things, and I don't think that's bad, but sometimes I don't communicate that the best. So you know, it's not fair to some people that really do care about me, like, Patricia, what's going on? And you know, I deal with evil eye, and I feel like, oh, you don't have the best interest at heart, or you're gonna make fun of me for saying what I say, or nobody wants to hear the same thing over and over. So you know, I'll go through all of these thoughts, but nonetheless, I just had insecurities and confidence issues these last few months that I'm still trying to dig out of, and just love myself through every chapter. You know, when I'm heavier in weight, when I'm lighter in weight, when my mental health is pristine and everything seems amazing, and you know, you look outside and you're like, wow, life is beautiful. Or you look outside and you're just like, oh, I can't stand this. I can't stand this every day. You know, just loving myself and loving life through it all. Just had to come to a point where I choose happiness. You know, I really told myself while I was in that funk, like, Patricia, you're gonna choose yourself. You're gonna choose yourself. You're gonna choose yourself, and it's not gonna be easy, and some people are not gonna understand you when I tell you. Some people are looking at me crazy. One thing I say all the time is I am driven on passion. take that for what it will be. So when I don't feel the passion, when I don't feel like something is resonating with my spirit and my soul, I have to go. And you know, I can't just drop everything all the time. And I usually don't. I'm a Capricorn, baby. By the way, I turned 27 during our little break. So you're talking to a 27-year-old now. Talk to me nice. I just drive myself on passion. If I'm not feeling the passion, baby, don't expect me to be there long. Don't expect me to be there long. Like, for example, I love YouTube. This, baby, is my jam. And I feel very passionate about it. So no matter what, if I go through my little funk, if I go through these periods where I have like imposter syndrome or whatever the case may be, I always find my way back to you guys because I love it here. I'm passionate about it. I have thought about doing YouTube for years, and I finally mustered up the confidence, and you know, God gave me the permission, and I just really felt it in my soul to finally just do it. Do that shit, do that shit, do that shit. And I finally did it. And you know, although it's not easy, although, you know, I have my moments where I just want to be like, I don't know if this is meant for me, I'm still willing to try, as I am right now. So that's what I mean when I say I'm driven by passion. I always think about, like, one time I was talking to someone and they were like, you know, you give up kind of easily on things. And I was like, no, I give up on things I'm not passionate about. I give up on things I'm not passionate about, because when I'm passionate, baby, there's nothing that can drive me away from it. I'm gonna find my way back. You know, I might take a break, but you never give up on things you're passionate about. And that is what I stand 10 toes down on. During this little transformative period, there were times where I chose me and I let go of some things that I was not passionate about. And it was not easy decisions, but you know what? It was necessary decisions. And I chose me and I chose happiness. And you know, as I get older, the decision to choose happiness is getting harder and harder. However, it's always worth it at the end of the day. Sometimes you just have to let go, literally. Like, as I get older, I understand let go and let God. Like, you just have to let go sometimes. Having faith does not always make sense. And my pastor said this to me in church. He didn't say it to me, but I felt like he was talking to me. He was talking to the whole congregation. But he said, sometimes you have to let go, and sometimes you have to trust God. And having faith does not always make sense. And other people around you might not understand, but it's not their job to understand. You know, I say that all the time. Have a vision. And sometimes nobody understands it, so it makes you feel crazy. But God gave you that vision. It's your vision. It was not meant for anyone else to understand. And that's the same thing with faith. God gave you the faith. God gave you the vision. Baby, stand 10 toes down. You know what I'm saying? Faith does not always make sense. God gave you a vision, and if you're prepared to execute, you need to stand 10 toes down and believe that you might be the only one walking. You might be the only one walking your path. Your family, your friends, there might not be any supporters, but guarantee you, if it was your vision and your purpose and your purpose and it was in God's will for your life, it's gonna come true the way it's supposed to. It's going to work out. You just have to have faith and be patient and know that some people might look at you crazy, but baby, it is what it is. So yeah, you know, just standing 10 toes down in what you want out of your life, standing 10 toes down in happiness, and you know, having faith in yourself, because it's not always going to be easy and everyone's not always going to understand you, but guess what? Keep going, keep going, keep going. So speaking of keeping going, you guys, babes, I wanted to speak about, last but not least, God using other people to speak to you. I feel like that happened a lot during this time. God used people. God used people. God used people to talk to me. I'm a praying woman. I'm a God-fearing woman. I am a child of God. If y'all didn't know, I'm going to tell y'all now. I absolutely, positively believe God was sending me signs, symbolism, and people to speak to me. And, you know, I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for, you know, his precision and his grace in my life, because, you know, I saw the messages loud and clear. Like, it was just very hard to miss. And, you know, I'm very glad that he did it that way. You know, like, as a believing woman, you know, you just really have to open your eyes. You know, you have to open your eyes, and you have to be receptive as well. And so, you know, I opened my eyes. And, you know, I feel like God will open your eyes too. Sometimes you're not receptive. And honestly, I don't even know if I was receptive when I was receiving all of these things. But God opened my eyes, and, you know, I feel like he will allow you to see things the way that you need to see things during that time. I'm not really a big fan of saying too many things. Like, I believe in evil eye. I believe in people wishing bad upon you. But I also believe in, you know, standing 10 toes down and what you want for yourself, what you want out of life. And sometimes you have to speak aloud the things that you want, having discernment with who that you speak to, because there are people out here that are willing to help you, and sometimes you just don't know until you say it, because if you don't say it, how will someone know? How would they know? How would they know? They won't know, because you ain't say nothing, baby. I'm trying to learn to speak, but also be discerning with who I speak to. Let's start with number 1, homecoming. So, you know, I went to North Carolina Central University, the illustrious. And, you know, during homecoming, you see people you haven't seen in a very long time. So I saw 2 people in particular that I'm going to speak about. And they just really made me feel like God sent y'all to talk to me. Like, God sent y'all to talk to me. So, you know, I go with my good sis, one of my best friends. We went to homecoming. Good, we're drinking, we're having a good time. You know, you're doing the homecoming things. If you know, then you know. And I see someone that I knew during college, and I don't think I've seen him since I graduated. Like, where do you live now? Blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, we're catching up, and he's like, yo, Patricia, I see you be doing your podcast. Now, disclaimer, I think people get my podcast mixed up with my YouTube. They're not the same thing. My podcast is my podcast, and my YouTube is my YouTube. I'm pretty sure he was thinking about my YouTube and not my podcast, but that's me digressing, because I got the message. Your podcast, keep going. And I'm like, my podcast? You be watching it? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you need to keep going, like, keep doing your thing. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you, I will. So that was how that started. So I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you. So that was number 1. Oh, and that's another thing. You never know who sees you. You never know who sees you. You never know who's watching. So keep doing your thing, because you never know who is seeing you, who's inspired, who's admiring. There's probably going to be some haters, but as long as you're doing your thing, that's all that matters. Stay consistent and keep doing your thing. There's going to be naysayers, there's going to be haters, there's going to be people that don't understand, but there's also going to be people that support you. There's going to be people that admire you. There's going to be people that you are inspiring. So that was number 1. Number 2, that same day during homecoming, me and the girls, we went to go eat with those same people. And I'm talking to one of the guys there, and he's like, yo, Patricia. I'm like, hey. He's like, you know, what's up? Are you still modeling? Are you still, like, taking your pictures? And I was like, no, I stopped, because, you know, like, life be lifing and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I understand. And he was like, well, he was like, you should keep doing that, because, you know, I really liked your pictures that you used to post. Excuse me? I was like, you like my pictures? I never knew that you even followed me on Instagram. He was like, yeah, I follow you on Instagram. I love your pictures. They look amazing. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you should definitely keep doing that. Like, you're really good. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And then, you know, while we're sitting at the table, I continue to talk to the other guy, and he's like, yeah, like, you know, I really want you to keep going, Patricia. And I was just like, okay. He was like, seriously, like, keep going. Like, that's so random. He was like, nah, like, I see you doing your thing, like, keep going. So I was like, okay, I will. Thank you so much for expressing yourself to me, because you don't know how much that meant to me. Just like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, y'all don't know how much that meant to me. So that was instance number 1/2. Number 3, I went to go get a drink with an old friend one day. And, you know, we're just talking like, you know, what you been up to, what you been up to. And we're talking. Y'all, this friend was in the army. So he's telling me like, yeah, you know, like, you know, what happened to your podcast? Remember I told you my podcast and my YouTube are 2 different things. He's talking about my actual podcast. So I was like, oh, my podcast, like, I just chilled on that. And I'm gonna tell you guys about my podcast too. Well, I guess I'll tell you guys now. I chilled on my podcast because it was heavy. My podcast, I spoke about current events and pop culture and how it affects the Black community. So keeping up with everything that happens in this world on a daily basis, having to do the research, all that stuff was a lot on me. So I decided to give it a break. And, you know, during the break, that has been longer than I intended, I definitely thought about, like, is this something I want to keep doing? Do I enjoy this? You know, is this beneficial? I'm talking to one of my people, and he's like, yeah, you know, like, when I was out far away, when he was deployed, him and his homeboy used to listen to the podcast. And I was like, what? Because I was just like, yo, like, who in Afghanistan don't heard about my podcast? I was like, the reach is crazy, baby. The reach is crazy, baby. So I was just like, wow, like, I don't know who is Afghanistan listening to my podcast, but hey. So it was him. And so he was like, yeah, like, he really enjoyed them, and, you know, I should get back to it. But, you know, he definitely was like that. He really enjoyed the podcast, and it was a good form of, you know, distraction when they were going through all the things that they were going through. And I was just like, wow, that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Because this is someone, again, that I didn't even know was seeing my content. This is someone that I did not know was paying attention. I didn't know they were seeing it. I didn't know they were paying attention. I didn't even know that they would have some interest. So that really, like, caught me off guard, and it really warmed my heart, because I was like, wow, you know, had he never shared that, I would have never knew. But now I know, and it was really touching to me, because I'm like, wow, you know, like, you just really never know, which is why you should keep doing what you're doing, because you never know who you're inspiring, you never know who is admiring, you never know who you're helping. But that's why you have to keep going, so it can find the right people and find the right audience and find who it resonates with. So that was very touching, and that was instance number 3. And then, you know, fast forward, it was my birthday, so, you know, I turned 27. And I went to go see my good sis that always takes my pictures at Charmant Studios. And I'm just telling her like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen her in such a long time. So, you know, we're catching up. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I was just going through some things. And so I really wasn't feeling it to be taking pictures. And she was like, oh, I understand, girl. Like, I completely understand. So, you know, we're talking. So it's time for me to pose for the camera, baby. And you know, I haven't done it in a while, so I was a little crusty. And so, you know, I'm getting ready to pose, and she was like, come on, pose queen. I was like, pose queen? She was like, yeah, you know, you be killing the poses. I was like, girl, stop. She was like, no, for real, like, you be doing your thing. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, that means so much to me. And me and her talked a little bit more after that. But I was like, that really meant so much to me because, like, you know, you just question yourself and you question your abilities and you question if you're worth it and if you should keep going for some dreams and aspirations or if you should just give them up. But she was like, no, keep going. Like, you are the pose queen. Like, you really be doing your thing. And she was just telling me some other projects she would like me to be involved in. All of that being said, so all of those instances I just mentioned, God sends people in your life to talk to you. You know, I don't look at them like just simple interactions. I look at them like there was a message that I was supposed to gain from each and every one of those interactions. And these are people I don't talk to on a daily basis. These are people I don't talk to barely at all. You know, like, we talk when we talk, you know? And so it was just very touching to me because I was like, there was something I was supposed to hear. There was something I was supposed to learn. There was something I was supposed to take away from each and every one of the interactions that I had. And that just taught me that there is a message to be heard. You just have to open your eyes, open your heart, and be receptive. You have to have faith. You need to be secure in yourself. You need to be secure in your vision, secure in your dream. If you believe in God, you need to be secure that He will lead you to the right place. He will lead you to the right people, and you will get to where you're going. And that just really reassured so much to me in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, because my God knows how I'm feeling. My God knows how I've been so insecure. He knows how I've been really questioning myself. He knows how I question my dreams quite often, more often than I would like to admit. And you know, no matter how much I question them, they don't go anywhere. There are still things that I love. There are still things that I enjoy. There are still things, no matter how long of a break I do, I still feel the need to come back. God is an amazing God, and sometimes you need a break to reset and recharge and get your mind right. And I feel like that's exactly what I did while I was gone. I missed you guys so much, and I thank you to the new subscribers and the people that have been sticking with me. You guys mean more to me than you will ever know. And this is a journey that I want to keep going linear, and I might take a break and I might need some time to regroup and reset, but I'm coming back, I promise. You know, this is something that I'm passionate about and God put it on my heart to do. So I'm gonna keep doing it, baby. God sent those people for a reason. So I'm going to, you know, make sure I take the message, and not only take the message, but I apply it. So I'm back. Please excuse me while I take necessary times that I need to. I'm not always the healthiest, especially mentally. So I need the time to just sit back and pray and reset and regroup. But I promise I'm here with you guys. I love you all so much. And you know, I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you turn on your bell notifications, and I hope you guys stick with me on this journey. I cannot say thank you enough. I know I say thank you all the time, but literally I mean it. So tell your friend, tell your mama, tell your daddy to come subscribe, because we are in for a ride. Okay, I love you guys so much, and thank you for coming to my life recap, my life updates, my get ready with me, my check-in, and I will talk to you guys later.